So have you guys ever been like, why am I doing this? Like for the thing you do in life? Well, that's kind of the spot I'm in right now. But this video is just gonna be about kind of myself, to be honest. Because I know in the future, when I blow up and or not blow up, but like be successful on YouTube, a bunch of people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're in it just for the money. Oh, this, that." Like, I want you guys to understand, I'm not doing this because I want money. I'm doing this because I'm doing what I love. You know. Um, I see a bunch of these like rich business guys saying, "Oh, don't do what you love." I mean, if you love being rich, sure, do that, but money's not gonna bring you true happiness. Life isn't about money. It's about doing what you love and being successful in it. I feel like, and that's the intro of the video. And all right, I'm just gonna kind of explain why I'm creating content because in my head I don't really know why, but I know that I want to do it. I just have to find the reason why. So I'll date this back to fourth grade, or actually I'll date it back to kindergarten. There was this one day, um, when there was this worksheet that I had to do, and it was a worksheet about myself, and at the end of it, there was this paper or this little box on the paper, and it said, "What do you want to be when you're older?" And I said, "A pizza delivery guy," like literally a pizza delivery guy on the paper. And at the time, I didn't really know. I just knew I didn't know what I wanted when I was a child because like you're a child, you don't know what you want. But I didn't know what I wanted to be when I was a child. Like a bunch of these people had an idea in their head, but I just said some random thing. Like thinking back, it was just because I loved food back then when I was a child. But I wasn't thinking of what I loved. Like, yeah, sure, I loved food, but you know. So time passes. Fourth grade, there was these entrepreneur people that walked in, and they were teaching about entrepreneurship and what it means to be an entrepreneur. And when they first explained the idea of entrepreneurship, I fell in love with that idea. I fell in love with the idea of you being your own boss. I fell in love with the idea of making your own money. Like I just love the idea of kind of being my own boss. Like that just sounded so cool to me, and that's one of the things I wanted to do when I was older because it aligned really well with me. I feel like I wasn't like these other kids in school. I was kind of a loner, but like I still talked to people. Like I wasn't the quiet kid, but like I was just distant from people, and that I don't I don't really got friends right now. I'm gonna be honest. Like my best friend right now, he's too caught up with this girl, and it's kind of affecting me. But back to the story. So I learned about the idea of entrepreneurship and just knowing the fact that I could be my own boss was so cool. Like this is just kind of vivid because I don't really remember what I wanted to be, but and also let's go back to the sorry I'm tracing back, but let's go back to the what I like the worksheet where I got to choose what I wanted to be when I was older. I remember seeing all these other people like saying like a taxi driver, a bus driver, and all these other careers, and that's when I realized not everybody wants to do the same thing, and I think that really plays a role in what you are in the future, you know. But back to the other story. Sorry, I just had to mention that. Um, let me make sure this is on. Yeah, it's on. My bad. Um, yeah, I fell in love with the idea of being a businessman and like having my own business, my own brand, and I think that was my first ideal interest of what I wanted to be. Like I'm surrounded by all these people who own businesses nowadays, like but I didn't know about business until that one day because my dad wasn't a businessman until later in his life. My uncle, I didn't even meet him until what 6 years ago. Um, and like it just sounded so cool. I got to be in charge of people. I got to run. Being a boss sounds so cool to me. I don't know why. It's just something that I found intriguing. But now we fast forward this to like, all right, my dad he met this woman named Tara in Pennsylvania, and I probably shouldn't be leaking their names. I'm sorry. I'll cut that out. Um, but we'll just call her Sarah. But my dad and Sarah they met up, and there was this kid of Sarah's, and he was kind of like a gamer that's always on the game and stuff. But like he was also really watching YouTube videos a lot, and I think that's when I first learned about YouTube. And I started investigating YouTube videos myself, and I was like, this guy is happy. He's making a living out of YouTube, doing what he loves, and I kind of fell in love with the idea of YouTube too. And I think that's part of the reason why I'm doing it today. Um, you know, as a kid, there's ambitions and stuff that you don't even realize you have. But like the farther down the road of watching like all these YouTube videos, I realized that I kind of wanted to be a content creator. It also sounded as fun as investing into a business. Like I've always said I wanted to be a businessman, but my true passion is probably content creation because just think about it. I don't have to I don't have to do outside work. I don't have to get my back broken or nothing. I don't have to do all this unnecessary stuff that has to ruin my life in the future if I succeed out of content creation. So that's when me and we'll call the son of Sarah, we'll call him Jordan. So me and Jordan, we we made a Minecraft video, and obviously like maybe 20 views, nothing that serious, which is more than what I'm getting right now, but like it got 20 views, and like the feeling I had when I created that video, it was so good. It felt so good to make that video. I have no idea why. Like creating something is really what made me fall in love with content creation because like I'm creating stuff for other people to make use out of. Because as a kid, I felt like I didn't provide much to anybody at all. So I kind of felt like that feeling of uselessness. I felt useless to everybody. So I think that's another factor as to why I wanted to do content creation. You know? So a little bit of time passes by from that, and Sarah and my dad separate. Now, this is what I would call the descent of my dad's life. And it was really bad for him. The way that happened is Sarah basically cheated on my dad, and he was kind of a drinker, to be honest, and he like kind of crashed out over that. So we had to leave Pennsylvania. I tried to say bye to Jordan, but he didn't. I could sense something was off, and to this day, I don't know what happened, but something was off about him that made him like resent me a little bit. So that kind of pushed me more towards I want to be loved and appreciated more. Again, another factor that can happen to content creation. I want to be appreciated from people. Time passes again a little bit more until he finds this one other lady friend, and she wasn't really a good partner. Let's say. Time passes once again. I moved back to Ohio with my family to my home state, and he meets this other girl. Her name was Tanya, and she she wasn't a good person. She was a drug addict. She was alcoholic. All these bad stuff that could make your life terrible. And I get why they say what you hang around is what you become, because that's what my dad became. He became more alcoholic. He wasn't really giving that much time towards what he needed to do to make us live good. And eventually we had to move out of that house, and we moved to this town called I'm pretty sure it was Springfield. Oh, Sheffield. It was Sheffield. And then we had a pretty nice house. Like, he wasn't too affected by no drugs or nothing, so we were actually pretty happy. And unfortunately, the worst event happened in my life right here. I'd say this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. My dad let her move in without asking the homeowner. So it was a contract that was broken, basically. Like, the homeowner made it a specific rule to tell her, like, nobody can move in, just you guys. And so once she moved in, time passes by, like, it's going good, but then this one night we basically got kicked out, and I was homeless for a couple days, and I never realized what it meant to be poor until that day. It was terrible. I never want my kids to go through that, which is why I want to pursue more business and content creation. So all these building pieces you're seeing of me is an understanding of why I want to do this. I want to I don't want my kids to ever go through that again. And that's why I know, like, I don't think I would succeed in the trades field because my dad didn't, so why would I? What makes me different? So once again, time passes by. My dad finds a new house, and this is where a lot of bad shit happens. Um, so my dad got Tanya pregnant, and the worst thing happened to that baby, and that was heart issues, and it was terrible. And I don't know what it was about my little sister, but I loved her so much, and I've never felt that kind of love towards a sibling before. Like, I felt like a big brother that had to protect his little sister, because, like, it's the first time I saw a sibling as an infant, and it made me want to protect this baby so badly. And things are going well for a little bit. We're actually kind of happy for a little bit, and I'm trying to think of a way to progress the story without making it too terrible. But let's just get to it. My baby sister died, and the day it happened, I not the day, like, my dad wasn't doing well. I had to. We actually went to go spend the night with my aunt and my uncle a couple days before that. So, like, I didn't actually hear about it until the day of Thanksgiving, or around the day before maybe. And when I heard those news, I didn't know what to think. Everyone was so sad about it. My sister was crying. I wanted to cry, but let me mention, I forgot this part. My grandma died as well, and that was the first time I think I felt true pain. And um, I don't know. I didn't know what to feel. I was sad. I was so heartbroken that she died, and it was all because Tanya didn't go get her heart transplant when she could have. There was a donate to us for my baby sister, and she didn't do it. And you want to know why? I want to rid this world of one thing, but I don't think anyone can, and that's drugs and alcohol. Um, I've been sober for 17 years. I probably would have turned over if she never died. Because her, I hate to say this, but her death made one thing clear to me. These drugs is the reason why bad things happen to people. People don't think straight whenever they're fucking doing. That's not cool, bro. Like, it messes up your mind so fucking badly. You gotta think about that shit, bro. You gotta think about what you're doing. Um, then my dad becomes depressed. It's He's crying every night. I don't know what it feels like to lose a child, but I know now that he was in some terrible, terrible pain. And I felt some sort of resentment towards Tanya. I felt like I needed revenge somehow. And the day of her actually it was later than that. We'll get to the funeral later, but there wasn't even a funeral for my baby sister, which I know she's an infant, and but still, everyone's death deserves some recognition. Time passes by until this one night, me, my uncle, my aunt, sister, and my two baby cousins decided to go get some flowers, and they were amaryllises. That was the name of my baby sister, Amaryllis. It was a flower, and that night I gave it to my dad and Tanya. I I could see how much he was struggling. My dad was a good person, he really was, but he was hanging around the wrong people, and I know that a lot of people say it's not your fault, but maybe, just maybe. Hold on, I gotta complete the story first before I do more reminiscing. Um, so we give him the flowers. I say, "I love you, Dad." He says, "I love you too, buddy." And we leave the house, and I go back to my uncle's house. A couple days pass until one day I'm working with my uncle because I'm a teenager trying to get some money, and the when we were riding back, he received a phone call from my cousin's dad, and I could tell it's bad. I could tell how bad the news was because the phone was not on speaker, which he always talks on speakerphone. Uh, I could hear a bunch of like kind of crying in the background of the phone. And then time passes, like hours maybe, until later that night. There's a, I'm wondering, like there was a whole bunch of my family members at my house, like my uncle, my other uncle, my aunt, my other aunt, all these people, and I was confused why they were all there because it wasn't a holiday. It wasn't nothing special that day, so why were there everybody there? All right, and Dustin and TT, or sorry, I can't. Um, my uncle and my aunt, they both call me and my sister to the room, and basically, it was I could I could tell for sure that time that something bad happened, and basically they told me that my dad overdosed. Um, and that was my breaking point. I I cried. I thought since I was like growing up to be a man, I wasn't allowed to cry, but I did cry, and it was for hours on end that I cried for. and that's when my depression truly started. Um, I I knew how it felt to lose a child because I think losing your own father is vice versa of that. Um, I didn't know what to think at that moment when I heard the news. I I didn't immediately break down crying. I said, "Okay." I went downstairs and I started bawling my eyes out, and it was the saddest day of my life. I I don't remember a single day where I cried that bad before, and it was truly the worst day of my life. I don't think any day tops that moment in my life. I was a daddy's boy, to be honest. Like my mother, like I loved when I saw her because I never saw her in my childhood. That's so, mom, if you're watching this, I gotta keep it honest with you. The reason why I kind of resented my mother is because I felt like she chose drugs over me. I felt like back then she could have ditched the drugs for her own child to get him back. But she, I don't know, she didn't do that until later, and that's when it was too late. I was already too broken. I was a broken boy. Sometimes I know that it kind of feels terrible knowing that it feels like me and my sister weren't enough for him to stay alive. I, I think he had enough, and he kind of either it was laced for what he took, or um, it was suicide. Either one of those two. I still don't know the full story, but that kind of started my descent into depression. This video is gonna be a while, by the way. So I can't remember exactly what I did after that. I'm pretty sure I went to my uncle, my one of my uncle's house, not the one that I live with, but I went over there. You know, it was going. Oh yeah, we watched Spider Man, Spider Man No Way Home. It was a pretty good movie, but it was it was a good day. It was a good it was a good makeup for the bad day, I guess. Not a good day, but you know. All right, time passes. I transferred to Firelands High School. Actually, I think I was transferred before that, and I got well. I had my first girlfriend before all this, but I wouldn't really consider my first because we never talked. But my second girlfriend was at Firelands in 8th grade, and you know, like we were like FaceTiming every day, and we were talking a lot. But oh, okay, got that turned off. We were talking a lot, and I liked her. You know, I liked her a lot, but and you know, um, and then I was really stupid back then. I was doing push-ups on FaceTime and grunting and stuff, and you know, like a woman should. She found it weird, and um, when I went on Florida vacation, she basically texted me and said like, "I don't want to talk to you anymore," and I said, "Okay." Because I already went through heartbreak once before, which also made me cry a lot. But you know, and then I'd call her my first love. Um, she she did so much things for me. Um, my first kiss. She was my first love. Like I really did love her. Um, and like I couldn't get over her. Like I wanted to spend so much time with her. But one day comes, she introduces this one guy, which I do get a little insecure about, but I didn't think anything too serious of it at the time. Until one day we were hanging out and I left her house, and then the way I left made her angry at me. I just said I have to go, and I left. I didn't hug her goodbye. Like she wanted me to like hug her goodbye and like actually say bye. But I said I had to leave, and like I was angry because I wanted to spend the night with her. But um I had to leave, and she didn't get that I had to leave. And her friend was there, so I was embarrassed to do that. I would have, but her friend was there, and it was embarrassing. I didn't want to do that. And then the next time I go over to her house, she seemed off a bit. She seemed guilty about something that I didn't know. And I kept asking her, "What's wrong? You can tell me anything." And then she was like, "If I tell you, I think you'll be mad." And then I kept urging her to tell me, and she wouldn't tell me. And it was like a party day there, and I left the right way. And until later that day, the guy she introduced me about texts me, and he said, um, "Your girl cheated on you with me," and that made my heart drop. I didn't think my ego was all the way up here, and I didn't think I could be cheated on. I thought I was perfect, but I wasn't, and I respect the dude more than her because he would actually tell me. He tried to tell me, "Oh, don't leave her. She loves you," and I was behind that for a little bit. And like stuff happens. Like she had a reason behind cheating on me, but I got all personal about it. Like have your opinion on it how you want, but I was getting all personal about it, and my sister told me I should leave her. And I kind of wish I gave her a second chance just to see how it would go again. Because I believe in second chances. But I didn't. I left her because I was so heartbroken by it. I didn't think I could ever look at her the same. What really set me off is the one night we were FaceTiming. I asked, "Why'd you do it?" She said, "I don't know." And then I kept asking, and she didn't answer me because she said she didn't hear me. And basically I left her because she was being different, and that was that. So that was my third heartbreak, but that was like a really bad one. But let's fast forward about 1 year ago from today. That is about when I made my first YouTube video, and it really what I got inspired by, okay, is this guy named Hamza Ahmed. He doesn't really post content anymore because he's all set for life, which I kind of find bummish, but you know, you do you, man. But he was my first inspiration to post content. Like I I realized a year ago from today that content creation was always what I wanted to do, and I made my first YouTube video. Clearly, it didn't go as good as I wanted it to, but only some people can explode like that off the bat. And it was going good for a while. I was posting daily, I had good consistency. There was some things I could have improved, but didn't happen. And then a couple weeks passed by, and I stopped posting for a little bit. And this was truly the other most depressed time of my life. Um, so basically, what was going on is, I hate to say it, but I was, one, playing video games too much. Two, fapping too much. Three, I wasn't doing anything productive. Four, I didn't really care about my life right then and there. And you know, one day I was supposed to go to Hibachi with my family, and I didn't. But and I was really angry at my uncle for some reason that day, and um, he told me, get a workout in today, get back into what you were doing before. And I did that. I started reposting for a little bit, and but still there was a feeling that I couldn't shake off about myself. I realized later on what it was I I still don't know why I was so depressed back then. But thinking about it right now, I would have to say it was because I didn't feel worthy, or I didn't believe in myself. My mindset at that time was so terrible. Like wrestling, like I knew I was like I felt like I was good, but in matches I just couldn't push myself to win against these other people. And that's when I realized that my mindset is terrible. Um I wasn't winning matches because I couldn't believe myself to win. All these other guys, like, they don't have mentality issues like me, but for me, like, I was so self-doubtful because nothing in my life I tried was actually successful. Like, school's not getting me anywhere because I don't have a college goal after school. So why would I want to do good in school? It won't give me anything. So school, that didn't really make me feel confident about anything. The gym, I started bulk to gain more muscle, but I got fat, and that also made me feel like I wasn't good enough. I started posting content. Um, I was posting daily, but still, I didn't have that drive because I didn't feel like I could do it. But, and this kept on going until a couple weeks ago, until I read the book, um, Don't Believe Everything You Think. And that really changed my perspective on who I was. I I used to see myself as somebody who couldn't achieve anything. I thought I was good for nothing. And basically, I thought I couldn't do anything that I put my mind to. And reading the book, I realized that I'm thinking way too far into the future. I'm thinking of where I will be and not the journey. Because it's kind of hard to explain this. But thinking about the end goal isn't going to get you where you want to be. You need to be thinking about the journey rather than the end. Because when you think about the journey, it really keeps your mind on that instead of the goal. Like, it's quite simple as that. It keeps you more focused on what you're doing at the moment rather than where you'll be. Like, you need to focus on what you're doing right now to stay consistent. Um, yeah, that's so. I hope all of this makes you understand why I want to create content and do business stuff. Like, I don't want my kids to grow up in a house that, like, my dad had to make a bunk bed for me, like, this close to the roof, and I had to sleep up there with all the dust up there. That made me feel so worthless. I didn't want to do that. I want to make content creation because all my life I felt worthless, and I feel giving people my advice on my journey so far, and how, and like, just receiving recognition. And I feel like the when I feel the most achieved is when I receive recognition from other people, and I feel like that's perfect for YouTube. Um, I know they say being yourself on here is the most important factor, but it feels hard sometimes. Like I still have doubts, but the doubts are just the negative thoughts in your head. You gotta let the thoughts pass through your head in order to be positive about everything. You can't let that affect you. Um, so if you watched through this whole video, I doubt you did because you don't care about my story, But if you did watch through this whole video, I promise, whatever issues you're going through, like maybe you lost a parent like me, maybe you're growing up in a household that you didn't want to be in, like me, maybe your life sucks right now and you're all depressed, like me. What are some other issues that I went through in my life that you might be able to relate to? Um, Another like issue is my social confidence. And recently, I've been really good socially talking, and I think it's kind of because of content creation. That's another reason why I do it. I want to get better at talking to people and getting more social. And I feel like building a following would make me feel even more confident in myself with talking. It would really help me. um, and then, like when you're depressed, everything else about your life decreases. Your passion, your hygiene, your workout, well, not your workout, your fitness, your health. Everything else is affected when you're depressed. So this is why I urge you to follow me. If you are going through some shit right now, like you are feeling the loss of a loved one, or you're depressed and you're a fat slob and you don't know what to do, I'm telling you, I don't think there's another person on YouTube who has the same experiences as me and can tell you how to fix them. Like I don't know anybody else that can help you getting over the grief of your own father. I don't, because most of these online influencers will tell you that they didn't really care about their dad, and that's not relatable because a lot of people do care about their dad and they lost him too. I have a lot of friends around me that lost their dad as well, and I feel their hurt. Like I feel how they're feeling. Like I can relate to those people, and that's what makes me more attracted to those people. You know, you're more attracted to people who can relate to you. Basically, I promise you, there's no one else in this world better at giving you advice through my type of experiences, if that makes sense. Um, yeah. Again, I'm still learning, and that's the fun of it. You guys watching are learning as well. And I'm not just some bullshit content creator, bro. Like, and for my business, like, I have to make money somehow, you know? Like, I want to make this my job. So, I'm going to have to create a product. And, like, I'm probably going to. Here's my plan. Once I build up a following of at least 1,000 followers or subscribers, I am going to create a course. It's going to contain step by step guides to improve different aspects of your life. Like, your gym, your mindset, your diet. Like there's gonna be in like women too, because once I learn how to talk to women, I know uh, I'll be I'll sketch out some ideas for that on the course. And I'm still thinking of different problems people might have that I relate to. You know, there's that. I want to create some like actual product, like a book, some sort of product, like uh, like maybe some sort of gym equipment or like something that can improve your hygiene. Like I might want to create a clone one day. That might be fun. Deodorant even. Skincare products. Like I want to create. I want to create. That's my passion. Like creating content, creating products. Like I know I could just join manufacturing. Uh, Creation is my um passion, but you know, why do that when I could just do this? Like I could hire people once I get enough money to help me make these products, you know? I feel like creation is the best tool of society right now to make some money. And guys, I don't want to be rich. I know. I don't want to be rich. That might be crazy hearing, but like I just want to make a good living. Like I want to be able to make like $100,000 to like maybe $400,000 a year with my business ideas. Um, you know, and if you're not into my business ideas, you can go because